The Still Loading podcast is brought to you by the wonderful people on Patreon. Amazing people like Stephen P., Red from the Kaito and Red Show, Sang H., Mike from the Old Switcheroo podcast, Gilmer, Kevin from the Bit by Bit Foundation, Doug from the Nostalgia Arcana podcast, Parallax Puddles, Melissa S., Ryan K., Pib Extra, Matt aka Stormageddon, and Mr. Biscuits have all been wonderful enough to support the show over there. So if you would also like to get your name read at the beginning of an episode, along with a bunch of other goodies, go over to patreon.com/stillloadingpod and check out everything it has to offer. On this episode of Still Loading,
My Octobombers are gonna get them!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the Still Loading podcast. I'm your host, Josh Koval, and today's episode, it is the penultimate Zelda episode. That's right, we are talking about the Legend of Zelda cartoon, episode 12. The Moblins Are Revolting, directed by John Groost and E4 and written by E4. But of course, joining me for this, as always, my co-host with the mo-host, Dexter Morrill. Dex, how are you doing today?
Super fan of E Forward here. I'm doing great. I'm just kidding. She's the better of the two forwards that we normally get.
She's the more forward of the two forwards.
The more forward in my mind.
Yes, the more forward. Yeah, she's this episode. I don't know. I'm of mixed opinions on it. We'll get to all that though. We're talking like I said, episode 12. Now, fun fact, Dex, I was looking it up on like the listing on the Wikipedia. This is actually apparently the final episode of the Mario Super Show.
No way.
Technically, it came out on December 1st, 1989, but I guess that's not what the production order was. I'm assuming this in terms of how the episodes were made and produced. I'm assuming this came out, or this was made before the last one we're going to talk about, which is will be in 2 months now, which is The Missing Link, which that came out on November 24th, 1989. So even though that's listed as episode 13, that one came out before this one, which is listed as episode 12. So that's a little bit odd, but so we're going a little out of I guess broadcast order, but it's fine. So we should just dive right into this one, Dexter, because this one it's interesting. It's an interesting episode.
Yeah.
I got lots of thoughts. Let's start off with this though. As we are wont to do, we unlike the Mario episodes where we do the live action, then the cartoon, and then the end cap of the live action, we just focus solely on the cartoons and then solely on the live action segment. The live action segment for this one with Mario and Luigi is called The Ghoul of My Dreams. And also, I think the live action segment is weaker than the cartoon for the first time in quite some time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm going to agree with you on that one.
Elvira's cleavage could not save it, Dexter.
Yes,
and I do genuinely like Elvira. I think Cassandra Peterson is her real name. Like, she's such a fun performer. I love the character she created, but like I'm not blaming Elvira on this one. I think they gave her nothing to do.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is it has the feeling of, oh, Elvira's here. Quick, let's just film something. And they didn't have time to write
so much so normally when they end these episodes, like they'll have the live action segment, the cartoon, the end cap of a live action segment, and afterwards it's like they have like, don't go away, come back for, wait around to find out what happens next after another commercial break. And how then they have like, we'll see you next time, until then do the Mario, and then they have the credits roll, and then it would roll right into the next show or whatever it may be. Elvira's not in the Do the Mario segment where almost all the guests are, where they when they give the credit for the guest star, Elvira's
Yes,
not with them.
I
It's
noticed
really
that as
strange.
well. Yeah, it felt very much like, hey, Elvira's filming on the set next door. Let's see if she'll do this real quick.
She's like, I got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's about all you get. But yeah, so this episode is called, the cartoon segment is called The Moblins Are Revolting. And I'm going to start off with my first observation about this, Dex. Interesting setup, useless fucking episode. What a useless episode to watch. Nothing gets accomplished. There's no character development. At most, the enemy learns that they need Ganon as kind of like their main, as like a leader, because they're fucking hopeless without him. But that's about it.
Yeah, this unfortunately has that fatal flaw of, like, you can see through the facade of like, no, we have to reset status quo by the end of this. The classic episodic television where, like, let's have some fun, but our characters have to go back to square one in case these are shown out of order. So but you can clearly see that with this one. Otherwise, like you said, yeah, I really like the concept. I really like, it's not entirely a trope of like, this time they're all stuck in the same room for a bottle episode. This time it's all flashbacks. This time, like the standard sitcom tropes. Like, this feels like a new twist on creating a new different kind of episode, which was interesting. But ultimately, yeah, we got to resort to status quo. And honestly, like, I kind of like this story as a final, like, if it was the final episode, I kind of like it in the sense, because it's so transparent of being like return to status quo. I think that works for a final episode for a show like this, where even when it, like, the good guys should win and we all go home and high five, like, it resets in a way that, like, nope, they're going to be doing this forever, kind of thing.
I guess, like, for me, it's not the reset to the status quo that bothers me. It's that there's no, like, the characters don't learn anything. Like, there's no point to the episode. I don't mind the return to the status quo if there's some type of character development, or like, but like, Link and Zelda get so little screen time on this.
Yeah.
Because the primary focus is the Moblins and like the minions of the bad guy.
Yes. Or as they should be called, the Bums, because I noticed that they refer to themselves as the Brotherhood of Underworld Monsters, BUM. And I'm hoping
like that a lot.
That E12 did that on purpose. I'd like to think that she did that on purpose.
The Bums, Brotherhood of Childhood Monsters. I like that quite a bit, actually.
Brotherhood of Underworld Monsters. Yeah, BUM, the Bums.
That's funny.
But
so
this kind of...
go ahead. No.
I was going to say that this kind of brings up a conversation that I've been having with myself and with others near me. It's kind of very topical as far as the conversation of, resorting back to, is there any progression, in this? Because at the time of this recording, the Mario Galaxy movie has come out, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie has come out, and things like that. And a lot of the discussion, or a lot of the topic, one of the major topics that comes up is like, it's just things that happen and there's no consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself in the minority of people that say, I think that that's okay, as long as we understand it as its own genre. Because I enjoyed the Mario Galaxy movie, I enjoyed the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but they're both very much like theme park rides. And if you've ever been on a theme park ride that has, movie elements to it, there's always like same thing. Nobody grows, nobody learns anything. It's just like, boy, that was fast paced and exciting. Like, and that's kind of it. And I think if you know that going in, I think that can be a fun genre unto itself. And I guess maybe that, like, I grew up on cartoons like this, and I'm wondering if that's what has kind of made me more accepting of movies that do that. I could go off on a whole tangent on that because, with the modern movies being that way, I do think that some of the decisions that movie makers, the reason that they're leaning on that, I'll just call it a genre of movie where the theme park movie is because they're afraid of affecting their overall brand. Like, don't change anything. I feel like that was a lot of the decision making for the latest Mario movie was like, oh yes, put them in through these adventures, but don't you dare change how people think of them or like change anything about like their characterization, their relationships with each other. All that stuff has to stay the same as people know it from the games.
I mean, but the thing is, I haven't seen the new Mario movie. I know, blasphemous, but I like the first one. I would say also doesn't have like a whole lot of crazy substance, but like there's character development still.
Yes.
Like you can still tell like they were able to do it in the first one like that. So if they don't do it in the second one, that's just laziness in my opinion. Like you could do it in the first one. Why couldn't you figure out a way to do it in the second one?
I think I can say this without spoiling the Mario movie for you. If you end up seeing it on streaming or anything like that, the Mario Galaxy movie, but I felt that there was a clear delineation because they did set up like, this is how the beginning of a story arc works for a character, like this character arc goes from here to here, and they do the beginning part and they do the middle part, and then there's no end part to those character arcs that they set up. And it felt very much like notes from Nintendo that said, don't you dare change the relationship of these characters. You could keep everything else, but you can't have this end result. I guarantee you that the people who wrote the movie had endings to those character arcs or had results to those character arcs. The biggest thing that the thing that people focused on was the one character relationship that they did overtly explain, and Miyamoto's come out since and been like, this is going to be the status quo of the games going forward, of Rosalina's relationship to Princess Peach and like what connects them.
Okay.
And people were upset by that because they kind of established very vaguely something different in the Mario Galaxy game. Of what Rosalina's relationship is to the other characters. Which is to say none in Mario Galaxy. She's just like, but they established that she does have connections in the movie. And people are upset by that, and I get it, but like, I don't know. In my opinion, Rosalina hasn't been around nearly as long as the other characters. Her backstory was never overt. It was in the extra.
Yeah, but to me that means it's overt in the sense that it was written. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, just because it was something that you had to seek out through like by just watching cutscenes. I don't know, like they wrote the whole backstory.
True. I feel like I remember. I don't want to 100% say that this is absolutely true, but I feel like I remember that the guy who wrote Rosalina's backstory and had the storybook pages and stuff in Galaxy purposely hid them from Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
So I liked it. I liked that they added that to the game, but ultimately, like, I feel like if Miyamoto knew about it early enough, he would have squashed that. So it wouldn't have done that anyway.
Yeah, but too bad it is that. Sucks to suck, Miyamoto. But okay, we got to move on.
Yeah, sorry.
So the episode, we didn't even start the episode, Dexter. We've been talking kind of around it.
This has been your mini like movie review as we get into this episode.
the episode begins with some moblins throwing some hooks, like some hooks and ropes over the castle walls, and some of them are sneaking up through floors, fucking lifting up metal or not metal, sorry, stone slab floors like it's just paper. And they're all there to steal the Triforce. And the joke is, this is kind of foreshadowing for the whole episode. They defeat themselves. They defeat each other by pure accident. They all sneak into the room that Link is in, but they're not working together. The Moblins sneak up through one side of the oh my gosh, the Moblins sneak in through the floor. The wolf people, whatever the fuck they're called, sneak in through like the other side through the swing, through the hooks and ropes and whatnot. They all barge into the room. And I did find it a little funny, if you watch Dexter around the video we watched, which actually combined the live action segment and the animated one, which has typically not been the case. So this timestamp will be different if you're watching the Wild Brain version of this. But at 44 minutes and 46 seconds, a Moblin's coming in with his like bone crossbow, and he shoots the bolt straight up into the air, and then nothing happens to it. Like, it's weird. Like, there's no reason for him to shoot it, but they shoot it. They all fly in. They excuse me. They bump into each other, the Moblins and the wolf people. The one Moblin slips on an apple, which causes him to shoot off his remaining bolt, which kills the wolf man, who throws a boomerang, which then takes out the other Moblin. And that other Moblin, I guess his crossbow reloaded all by itself, and he shoots it off by accident as he gets struck with the boomerang, which then causes it to go and hit now apparently a third Moblin, even though there's only two that came in. I'm watching this scene now, Dexter. I didn't realize it. There are 3 Moblins that get killed.
That's right. Yeah, there was 2 and 2 before.
Wait, no, sorry. They kill a Wolfman. The Wolfman kills one Moblin by accident. That shoots off. So right now it's only 1 Moblin and 1 Wolfman dead. That arrow hits another Wolfman, or that arrow hits the other Moblin, which then it's only 2 and 2. I just misread. Then the Moblin that gets killed by its own friendly fire, I believe, by that logic.
Yes. Drops his little dagger.
Drops its sword, it drops its dagger on the wolf, and it kills it. And Link's like, I didn't have to do anything.
Stabbed him in the butt.
Right in the. He's like crouched and hiding, and it just stabs a little poke in the butt, and he's gone.
Yep.
Then it cuts back to Ganon hovering in front of the evil jar. And they're all trying to explain to him what went wrong. And then he of course is mad and is zapping them from outside the evil jar, but somehow they're still feeling it inside the evil jar. And Ganon has created a new tool. What's the new thing he created, Dex?
The Capture Staff.
What a great title! What a great name!
Yeah, what was the pit room? I'm going to keep my Capture Staff in the pit room.
At least Capture Staff, like a pit room, sounds so like you're just saying the same thing twice almost. Even though a pit and a room are different, so it's not a perfect. We're like a Capture Staff feels like 2 wildly disparate things by comparison.
Yes, that's true. And it creates something that New Super Mario Brothers would be known for on the Wii, which is putting a character inside of a bubble and kind of bouncing around. But in this scenario, this Capture Staff, that bubble that puts the character in is resistant to magic and poking and all of that. The only thing that can pop the bubble is the Triforce of Power.
The only thing. And he tests it out on a Moblin. He does get popped on that Triforce of Power, like you said. The Moblin grabs the what was it called? The Capture Staff or whatever it is.
Yes.
And captures Ganon inside a bubble and then puts him into the endless pit room.
Yeah, it puts him into the bottomless pit or whatever. Not the bottomless pit. No. And so he's just like floating in this capture bubble down
Free
forever.
falling.
Yeah.
He's
Which I was like,
free
really,
balling.
actually really clever plan by the Moblin here.
Yeah, it's honestly a great idea.
And then they open the evil jar so that everybody can come out.
Yeah, it like really nice thing to do. It's a good strategy, you know. It's a good strategy, but they freaking, of course, everything does get botched as per usual. But that's actually not the 100% the Moblin's fault. So they decide to then after the Moblin that gets out frees everyone from the evil jar, which you don't even see the frame of the evil jar. Like there's no shell to it. There's just some heavy like cork on top of it, and that's about it.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. Also, did you notice that the Moblins sound like Cookie Monster?
I thought one of my biggest takeaways from this is how Looney Tunes-esque in general. Like I know Cookie Monster isn't Looney Tunes, but like just in general, like Looney Tunes-esque. There's so many moments, especially like when the battle starts a little later on, where it's just like, "What are you doing?" You know, like it's very like somebody's been sleeping in my bed.
Exactly.
I should have been a voice actor, man. I should have fucking done. But I can only do silly voices. I can only be like the henchman, where it's like, where are you going? I'm gonna eat your potatoes. I don't know what the fuck that was. Maybe I shouldn't.
You sound like Petey the Puma from Looney Tunes.
What was it? I can't do it. He like inhales when he does that. I can't recreate Petey the Puma. He's like, no tea. It gives me a headache. How many lumps do you want, Doc? Oh, 3 or 4. I love. No thanks, I'll do it. Do you want any tea? No thanks, tea gives me a headache. Oh well, what do you want then? Coffee.
Oh man, I love Looney Tunes.
I do too. I love it quite a bit. Anyway, so the Moblins decide that now that they are in charge and Ganon's free falling and free balling, they are going to go attack Hyrule Castle. They throw a rock through Zelda's window, and it breaks a vase. And they say, this is where you get the note saying, like, you know, surrender or die to the Brotherhood of what is it? What is it called?
Brotherhood of Underworld Monsters.
The bums.
Yeah.
Weird note, once again, 10 minutes 23 seconds, not in the Wild Brain version of the video. This is from J Tomali 9681 on YouTube from 8 years ago. Go figure. There's a portrait in the background that looks like Beethoven.
I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, 10 minutes and 23 seconds. It stays on screen till at least 25 seconds. But there's like it doesn't match like the art style at all of the rest of the cartoon.
I'm seeing it now. There was one before that looked like George Washington. So this one's more detailed.
So they look to see, they go out and they see, you know, everything crazy that's going on. They're surrounded. There's freaking, like, honestly, very Lord of the Rings looking, you know, surrounded by like siege towers and fucking an army. It's wild. Well, they're not fucking an army, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, they have swarmed around the castle, like Stalfos and Dark Nuts and Gibdos and the whole menagerie of.
I mean, if they're gonna fuck an army, you start with the Dark Nuts,
or you end up with that,
or you end up with the Dark Nuts, dark nutting. Okay, I'll stop. Oh my gosh!
But yeah, then we get a bunch of the same joke over and over, which was a little disappointing. Of okay, when I say do this, and then they do it, like whether, and that's like that was funny once. Why is that the same for all of these? With the the battering ram. He tells them about it, but they start running, so they're tired by the time they get to the door.
That's actually a good
ram it.
joke. That first one
That
is the only time it was good, because every other time it's just like, oh no, you started shooting when you weren't supposed to, and now you killed your own allies and stuff like that. Like, that part wasn't funny, but the first one where they're like, on my signal, run, and the signal will look like this, and then they mistake it and they start sprinting from like a mile back.
Yes,
and like that was pretty funny. So by the time by the time they get to the door, they just goes just fall over.
Yeah, no, that was a good gag, but they proceed to do it a couple more times with like catapults. When I say fire, and it like flings him with the catapult, like they keep doing that.
But then
joke.
one time, like, a Moblin gets flung over by accident with a catapult with a bomb in hand, and is told like, hey, or no, he lands in the fountain, and Link and Zelda ask him, what is going on? What's Ganon up to? And he's like, Ganon's not up to anything. We captured him. And that's when they find out that the other half of the Triforce is left unguarded. Link takes out the dude with his sword, and then it cuts back to, like, you see a lot of interstitials of Ganon just free falling and free balling, until he's like, well, I can't use magic out of this bubble, but I can use it in. So he creates a bubble inside a bubble, and which causes him to float. I'm not a scientist, Dexter, but unless he can manufacture like helium out of thin air, I don't think that, like a really like concentrated dose of it.
Unless he can create thin air out of thin air, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, it is magic, so it's fine. He floats all the way up, and right as Link and Zelda are getting to the Triforce, that's when Ganon floats out of the endless pit. But there's not, once again, he can't do anything because he's still in the bubble. Link, being the hubristic son of a bitch that he is, that's a word, right? That's an adjective, hubristic.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying it is now.
Yes.
I'm saying it is. It's he is playing with Ganon like he's a basketball. The bubble goes over and it pops on the Triforce of Power. And so now they can't get the Triforce of Power. Ganon's mad as shit. So Link and Zelda just sprint away. And he just starts as Danny DeVito says. And I just started. So anyway, I just started blasting. And he recalls all of the Moblins, all the minions. What is it?
With a spooky mist.
With a spooky mist, yep. All back to his lair, which, if he's able to do that, what's to stop him from doing that? Like, I feel like that's a useful power.
Yeah. Just do that with the Triforce of Wisdom.
I wonder if it's only people, like enemies, beholden to him.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I will say for our Zelda fans out there that when Link and Zelda realize that Ganon's gone and they go for the Triforce of Power, they do fight a Dodongo.
Yes.
So if any Dodongo fans out there, and it is defeated by throwing a bomb into its mouth. So hooray for accuracy there. But something that's brought up when they're about to get the Triforce of Power is Link's like, I'm going to be out of a job. And I'm like, really? That you're worried about that, and not like, hey, I'm going to create, world peace, basically. I'm going to be out of a job.
That's all he really cares.
Link.
That's all he cares about.
And I think that's like one of his last lines is like, at least I still have a job, or something like that, after they realize
he says, excuse me, princess, or something like that.
Yeah, and gets a bucket on the head.
Line is like, at least I still have a job. Yeah.
Yeah, Zelda puts the bucket on his head, and I was like, thank you. Like, she's doing that for all of us, for the audience.
I mean, Link in this show is awful. Just abhorrent. Just an abhorrent human or not, he's not a human, Hylian. He's an abhorrent Hylian.
Yeah, exactly.
Just not a fan. So that actually ends the cartoon segment of this episode. There's not much else to it. That Oh, sorry. No, there is one other thing. You do see a clip of all the minions back at Ganon's lair, and his punishment to them is to clean the lair. It's disgusting in here. Clean this up with your tongues, and they are just licking the floor. Every single one of them is licking the stone floor. It's insane.
Yeah. I just think it's funny that they're like, I guess we'll start right where we are.
Oh, it's so gross. It's so, like,
Yeah.
just there's like a dozen of them on screen just licking. It's fucking gross. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that is that's what they excuse me. That's the end of the cartoon segment. The live action segment is A Ghoul of My Dream, and the premise of it is Mario has a nightmare in which apparently no. Okay, the Wikipedia description is Luigi has a nightmare in which Mario and Elvira must battle a mummy. That's not what happens. It's
No.
Mario has a nightmare of
Yes.
Mario and Elvira battling a mummy because Mario's watching Elvira's TV show on their TV, and Luigi, he's getting like scared by, like, he's watching it in the dark. This feels like a live action segment where they're like, our budget's low on this one. Like, there's no, you see nothing else of the rest of their apartment. For the most part, you see a random lamp in the middle of the room and a new couch. Did you notice what the couch is made out of, Dexter?
No.
It's a tub. They cut out the front of a tub and put a bunch of cushions in it.
They're plumbers, of course.
You can see it around 1 minute and 26 seconds on the video. I just noticed it now. I was like, that is an odd looking. Why does that couch look so odd?
Because like one side goes out a little bit farther, like the front rounded part of an old. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
It's funny, right? It's kind of clever.
Absolutely.
It's kind of fun. And I love, though, when Luigi comes in to ask Mario like what he's so nervous about. Lou Albano, as Mario, grabs a whole mess full of popcorn right when he does it and flings it up into the air. It's not like he's currently in the middle of eating it and throws it by accident. As soon as Luigi or Danny Wells taps him on the shoulder, he pushes his fingers farther into the bowl of popcorn in front of him and launches it up in the air.
My favorite part after that is as he's falling asleep on the couch, he has a handful of popcorn and he's completely laid back and is like falling asleep. And right before the screen does the wibbly wobbly dream, signifier, he drops his handful of popcorn on his chest. Like he was about to eat it, I guess. He just drops it on his chest. I thought that was funny.
And the popcorn, I think, are the only funny bits of this entire segment. Like, there's nothing really did it for me in this one. Because Luigi's nightgown is really funny. He's still wearing his green overalls underneath it. You notice he's still wearing green pants. He's got a a navy blue robe and a nightcap. He's still wearing his green pants. Oh, it's wonderful. That's fantastic. Mario then falls asleep and he dreams of Elvira coming out of the sewer grate in their room, in their apartment, because they're the Mario brothers, of course. And she's getting attacked by a mummy. And it's literally just like, I don't know, man. Like, I genuinely don't understand the point of all this. This is, like, I think you are 100% right, where Elvira just happened to be on set that day, like filming in the lot next door or something like that. And they're like, oh, come on the show. It'd be great to have you. Even though I don't know, like, what age. I never watched anything of Elvira's, like, show or anything like that. Like, what age range was she geared towards? Like, I understand, she has like all the suggestive like a lot of the jokes are like very like suggestive and playful. She's showing off her cleavage and stuff like that, and that's kind of like the shtick of it, right? Like it's supposed to be suggestive. It's supposed to be like some like innuendo, but is it like, what age range was her program for? Was it for adults, or was it like like PG-13, like that type of age range?
It was, I mean, like, she was basically like the Crypt Keeper, where she would introduce, these spooky stories and stuff. So it was supposed to be for adults watching horror stuff, but at the same time, that was also the era where there wasn't really kids' television, but there were things that kids gravitated towards. Because looking back, they had Alien toys for kids, Rambo toys for kids,
Yeah.
RoboCop toys for kids. Like, there are things that people were aware of in the zeitgeist that kids watched, even if it wasn't made for them. And I feel like Elvira was one of those things that young teens watched, even though it wasn't necessarily overtly made for them. I think everyone was aware that teens were watching it, as teens are wont to do with horror stuff. Like, that's timeless with every generation. They all like want to feel brave and like, oh, I watched a scary thing, and it makes them feel older, kind of thing. At least that's my memory
It's
of
from
Elvira stuff.
now, granted, take this with a grain of salt, because I don't know if they're like, I don't know if this is a religious organization or not. Common Sense Media, which Common Sense Media could be like, Common Sense is like usually like a dog whistle for like conservative bullshit, but so I don't know exactly, but they rate it as like PG-13 or like 14 plus, which honestly, for what it is, it's like the Elvira show. I mean, Elvira,
Yeah.
Mistress of Dark, flirtatious. There's apparently lots of shots of her cleavage and stuff, like food falling down in it, that kind of stuff. So I would say, to me, that is a very like 14, like PG-13 type of thing, like where.
Yeah.
Right. So I that sounds about right. So it is a bit, so it's not too far off for like this age range, which would have been a little bit sooner, though it is, because she's not doing anything really suggestive in this at all. Like, other than just having boobs, which isn't a crime. You know what I mean? Like, so
Right.
she's not really doing anything suggestive at all.
And she's got her classic like snarky humor and stuff too.
Yeah. So and her her trademark big hair, the really like the, which has to be, I would assume that has to be a wig, right? I don't know.
I think so.
But they're getting attacked by the mummy, and the whole short is just boring as shit. Like, I would say this is worse than the cartoon, because they don't give Elvira anything to do. There's not really, like, it's just them being scared by the mummy that is attacking her, that also came out from the sewer grate, or not the sewer grate, the sewer lid or whatever. Manhole. That's the word, Dexter.
Yeah.
I could not think of it. The manhole. And they are just like, Elvira's trying to get away, and Mario is just gripping, like bear gripping onto her forearm the whole time for no goddamn reason. Just, and so they finally like get confronted by the mummy. They have boring conversation leading up to it. Mario grabs it, pulls the bandages off, only to reveal that it's Luigi the whole time. Elvira yeets off. She's like, I'm not dealing with this. And Luigi strangles Mario. That's the end of the dream.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. That's the end of the dream, right? Yeah, it's supposed to be like he's still attacking him as Luigi, but then you realize like, oh, it's Luigi waking him up in real life.
Mm-hmm. But then you see Elvira run back onto the TV, like she suddenly just got back there, and you see Luigi walking off set with toilet paper still attached to his foot.
Was it
really the dream at all?
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. And she gives a little kiss to Mario, and the episode. And though Mario, I will say, after that kiss is really fucking creepy. Do you see his reaction to it? Like, his eyes get really fucking big, and he's just like clenching his hands. Like, I can't hear it, but the vibe I got from it was, oh yes, oh yeah, oh yes. I'm like, what? This is a kid's show, Mario.
Calm down, Mario.
Even if it's an adult, that's fucking creepy. Even if it was an adult show, you don't just like ogle a woman going, oh yes.
I took it as like him being a little bit freaked out, but yeah, you might be right.
That would make more sense. It just looked like he was ogling her, which was just weird. So I don't know. What were you going to say? Something?
I was just thinking of the acting choice, like telling the director, "Okay, this is what I'm going for here."
I'm just going to look creepy,
Yeah.
Doc. It's funny. So that ends this segment. That ends both the live action and the animated segment. That ends this episode of the Zelda cartoon. And overall, out of all the Zelda cartoons, this one I found. So let me put it. If we're breaking it down between the two, I'll give you the final word on this, Dex. Live action segment was probably the worst out of all live action segments I've seen. The cartoon, like, and I'm talking live action segments, excuse me, before I go to the cartoon. I'm talking about live action segments between the Zelda cartoon and the Mario cartoon. Like both, like the live action segments for between all of them we've watched so far, this is by far the worst. So far. For the Zelda cartoon specifically, I think it's the weakest one out of all the Zelda cartoons, but it's also probably the least, like, there is Zelda cartoons that made me mad. This one didn't make me mad. I felt nothing. I was just bored with it like 90% of the time, with the exception of the random Looney Tunes voices during the fight scenes. Like, but we gotta go to the castle, boss. Like, it's stuff like lines like that. Like, I'm paraphrasing, they don't say that exactly in it, but yeah, like, it just, this episode was awful. Like, there's so little redeeming about this. Like, normally the Zelda cartoons, I can at least find something redeeming in the live action segment. This one was an inoffensive, boring cartoon segment with an equally inoffensive, boring live action segment. So no, 1 out of 20, it's awful.
1 out of 20. It's a 0.5 out of 10, kids.
0.5 out of 10, baby. Your thoughts, though, Dex?
Yeah, live action, I agree. For such a, like, for one of the bigger named guest stars, this is unfortunately like one of the weaker. I can't get past the thought that this was just, they like, oh, Elvira's here. Hey, come on. I can't get over that fact. It just so
that
much
really
feels
just
like that.
feels like what happened, you know.
But so yeah, because nothing happens other than the tug of war with Elvira and the conceit that it was a dream, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, pretty boring. I think on the animated portion, I think I'm going to be friendlier to it, because that the concept is strong. Like, what if the Moblins led themselves, or what if the baddies took over and realized that even though they fail all the time, Ganon is actually the one that gets them closer to actually succeeding than working without him. I did like that. Some of the execution of it was, some of those aspects felt a little lazy or a little silly, but the overall concept I enjoyed. So I think that gets some credit. I'm trying to remember some of the other plots, because there were some other concepts that we've seen that were very like super underbaked. Like, what are we doing here? But I give this a 4 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10. I would put this at the top of the bottom episodes, if that makes sense. Like, this is a better of the bad episodes. But when we're done with this, I might have to just look at all, was it 13 episodes? Look at all 13 episodes and kind of think how I would rank them.
Dude, that's going to be hard, because I find in general it's hard to go back and watch. Like, I've tried rewatching some of these, and it's rough.
Oh, I would just look at the synopses and be like, oh yeah, okay, that's what happened. Did I like it or not? And try to just remember what we discussed. But yeah, it was fun. There was some silly stuff in there. I feel like I couldn't say that about every episode, so I give it, middle of the road. I give it a 2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite at all. All right. Well, I think that will wrap this one up, Dexter. I think we're at a good. We've discussed everything we need to. Unfortunately, not a lot happened in these, so this is a bit of a shorter one. Because really, just nothing really happened. It was kind of like I said, I'm not a fan of it. So to wrap this up, of course, we should talk about where the good people can find us online. So, Dexter, where can the good people find you online, and what would you like to promote?
Well, you can find me on the interwebs. You can search my name, DexterMorrill. I'm usually creeping around Twitter, Instagram. Instagram's probably the most likely place you'll find me. But any of those kind of social medias, you should be able to find me there, hanging out. If you want to talk movies, like that shows you how good this episode was. How we got so sidetracked by like current day movies. If you want to talk about that, you want to talk about retro video games, you want to talk about animation, you can hit me up on one of those social medias. As far as promoting anything, I don't really have anything in the works right now. I just got finished creating a Comic-Con here for where I work, so that took a lot of my time, but I'm trying to find a project for myself at the moment, so nothing to promote other than the Still Loading podcast. Do all of Josh's stuff.
Well, I mean, they're already here, but I appreciate it. All right. Well, for myself, you can follow me on Blue Sky at stillloadingpodcast.com, on Instagram at stillloadingpod, on Twitch at stillloadingpod, where I stream whenever the hell I feel like it or am able to. Lately, that has not been a lot, but you never know. I might be coming back at some point. So that's where you can find me online. If you like the show and you want to support it, another way to do that is give it a 5-star rating or review on whichever podcasting app you use. It does help more people find the show, and it pleases some type of algorithm god. I'm not quite sure. But that's where that's an easy way to support the show over there. If you really like it, I do also have a Patreon, patreon.com/stillloadingpod. For $1 a month, you get all the episodes a little bit earlier with better audio quality, as well as access to patron voting rights, which help guide the direction of the show. You can help choose topics that way. For $3 a month, you get everything I mentioned at the previous year, plus patron shoutouts, which you heard at the beginning of this episode. For $4 a month, you get all the previous tiers, plus access to 2 mini bonus episodes every month. And for $5 a month, you get everything: the bonus episodes, the early access, the voting rights, the shout outs, plus access to my monthly movie podcast, which right now the name changes depending on the theme of the theme of the movies or content we're talking about. Right now, it is called Still Muppeting, the only Muppet movie podcast where me and my buddy Doug from the Nostalgia Marcanum podcast play the music, light the lights, and we talk about the Muppets on Still Muppeting tonight. And at the time this episode is coming out, we will have let me think on this. The episode on Labyrinth will be coming out this Friday for the $5 patrons. Will have just come out. It depends on, I keep forgetting, it's a weird thing. For the people who get this episode early access on Patreon, Labyrinth is coming out this Friday. For the people who are getting this on the free feed, Labyrinth is already out on the $5 feed. And then the next one after that is going to be Fraggle Rock. We're going to talk about a few episodes of Fraggle Rock, which should be fun. So that is Still Muppeting. That is all over at patreon.com/stillloadingpod. But that's it. That is all the time I have for you on this episode of Still Loading. Thank you all so much for listening. Dex, thank you once again for joining me.
Yes, pleasure as always.
And with all that said, listeners, I will see you all next time.